Hello. The Divine Code reading for August 14th, pages 135 and 136. We're in the part on the Prohibition of Idol Worship, Chapter 1, Topic number 2. The main prohibition against idol worship is not to serve one of the creations, be it an angel, a spiritual power, a constellation, a star, or planet, one of the fundamentals of physical creation, a person, an animal, a tree, or any other created thing. And concerning one of the fundamentals of physical creation, for example, the four fundamental elements, Yeshudot, earth, water, air, and fire, as they are referred to in the classical Torah tradition. In a letter, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem M. Schneerson, postulated four Yeshudot: matter, antimatter, positive charge, negative charge. Igrit Kodesh, that's the compilation of his letters. So we're not to worship any elements of creation. That's spiritual aspects, physical aspects, scientific aspects. They're all part of creation. We are not to worship items that are part of creation. God being the aspect that's outside of nature is where our focus needs to be. God is the outside of creation that caused everything else to come into being. That's where our focus is to be connected to. Even if one knows that the master of the universe is God, and he only serves a lofty creation and only in the mistaken manner that Enosh and his generation did, Genesis chapter 4:26, as will be explained below in topic 4, it is still idol worship. So this is the area of what they call Shituf, that the belief that God, it means partnership, and believe that God is the supreme power, the God of gods. Therefore implying that there are other gods. The person worships God, understands that God is the master, but still gives honor, still gives a manner of worship to God's partners. Now, in reality, everything is sort of comes out from God. You don't take an emanation and worship that, but rather you are to focus your worship, focus the service on God, which is beyond creation, and is very difficult to focus on something that's outside of creation. Therefore, it's easier to focus on something that's inside creation, something that's tangible, whether it's even spiritual, it's still tangible in some way. It's easier to do that, but it's not to be what we're looking. Our focus is not to be on that. That's called partnership, and it's forbidden. And definitely, if it's worshipped, it's forbidden. The concept is written in the Torah. It's in Deuteronomy chapter 4:19. Lest you raise your eyes to the heavens and see the sun and the moon and the stars and the hosts of the heaven, and you are persuaded and you bow down to them and serve them. These celestial bodies that God separated for all the nations under the heavens. This means that a person is able to err in his heart and believe the celestial bodies guide the world, and that God has chosen them to be forever alive and existing without ever decaying, for the sake of the terrestrial world, but unlike its way. From this false idea, one may come to think that it is fitting to bow down and serve them. So the entire world is set up as a system. All of creation is set up as a system. And there are powers that are outside. We see what's in front of us, the world. We see the activity, the changing that's always going on. And if we look to the celestial bodies, the stars, the planets and such, it may seem that they don't change, and therefore we figure, okay, that's something we can rely upon. What's around us changes constantly, but we look up in the sky and we see things that we say those don't change. Just like in science, we might say that the matter, antimatter, that's something we can rely upon, or gravity, it's something we can rely upon. We're not to place our trust in these things. They exist, they can be utilized, but they're not divinity. They're not something that we can rely upon in that manner. From this false idea, one may come to think that it is fitting to bow down and serve them. Regarding this, it says in Deuteronomy chapter 11:16, guard yourselves lest your heart stray, meaning be vigilant and avoid mistaken thought by imagining that these creations were acting as intermediaries between people and God. And in a certain sense, they are in that, it's like having a wire that transmits power from the generator or the power source towards something that needs the power, a light bulb. So we might think of the wire as being an intermediary. In a certain sense it is, but it's purely a function. It doesn't have the it doesn't actually come, the source of the power does not come from the wire. And for that matter, it wouldn't come from the generator either. The generator simply manipulates power. So we're not to see the wire as being significant in that manner. We wouldn't serve the wire. We would not thank the wire for providing us power. That would be absurd. But that's what happened in the days of Enoch. They saw these things as like ministers of the heavenly system, and therefore they rationalized that it was proper to give honor to the wire, or give honor to the stars and the planets. And we're being told here that that's improper. Footnote 7, Rambam, Laws of the Worship of Stars and Idols, Chapter 2, Topic 1, explains the main concept of idol worship as the mistaken thought that it is God's will that we serve idols. Likewise, those who deny God's existence and imagine an idol as a deity. This is also the opinion of Ramban. See his exclamations on Exodus 20, verse 3, 22, verse 19, and 23, verse 25, and Rashi. Rashi on Exodus 20, verse 3, and some other Torah authorities disagree and maintain that the essence of idol worship is the physical action of worshiping an idol. rather than believing in the mistaken concept. This disagreement affects the question regarding belief in intermediaries, because according to Rambam, it is the main thing this is the main thing that is prohibited as idol worship, and Gentiles are definitely forbidden to maintain this false belief. But Rashi holds it isn't the main prohibition, and from this follows the opinions of Tosafot, that'll be footnote 9 tomorrow, that belief in an intermediary isn't forbidden for Gentiles. So there's two different opinions here. One is the Rambam, who sees the prohibition as being one of thought. And Rashi and the Ramban. Okay, so Ramban and Rambam both would say that it's the thought that is the major prohibition. Rashi and other Torah authorities would say that it's the main prohibition is against actually doing an act of service towards the idol. And this will go into much more detail in footnote number 9, which would be, God willing, to be tomorrow's reading. Therefore, a person is also an idol worshiper if he serves God along with another entity as an intermediary. And this was covered in the first part of the book, chapter 1, verse 7. That was on page 50. Even if he says that the Lord is the main God, but he also serves another power. This is so regardless of whether one serves the intermediary alone, for example, by bringing a sacrificial offering or bowing down to it, or if he brings a sacrifice and bows down and says that the service is for both God and the intermediary. However, if a person serves only the Lord, but he also believes that there is another power or God under the Lord's command, that one should also have faith in and swear by, then he is called a believer in an intermediary. There's three scenarios being discussed here. One is that the person is serving the intermediary. He believes that God is the God of gods, above all, everyone. But he's serving the intermediary. He goes to the intermediary for the service. The other one is that he is serving the intermediary next to God, next to Hashem. And the other one is that he's serving God, but has in his mind that the intermediary is also of great value. So he has the intermediary in mind when he's serving God. So it'd be like if you have the king and the subject. The first scenario would be the subject interacts with the minister, and he doesn't want to bother the king because the king's busy. So he's offering his service to the minister in a different location. Just going about their day-to-day business, and you have the local magistrate, and the servant offers his service, his fidelity, his fealty to the local magistrate. That would be one form. But he knows that the king is above the local magistrate. So in his mind, he's serving the king by offering his service to the magistrate. The second one would be you have the king in the courtroom, the servant comes into the courtroom, and there's a magistrate standing there, and he's offering service to both of them, or he's offering service to the magistrate in front of the king. He's sort of treating them like a package deal. And the third one is he's offering his service to the king, but in his mind, he knows he'll be serving the magistrate on his day-to-day basis. He'll be serving the magistrate, but he's swearing the oath in front of the king. He's offering his service before the king, but he plans to also be working with the magistrate. These are three forms of shidduch that are being described here. Great rabbinical authorities throughout history debated as to whether the false belief in an intermediary is actually idolatry and therefore forbidden to Gentiles, or if it is not included in the basic Noahide prohibition of idol worship, and therefore it would not be forbidden for Gentiles. So this becomes like an open question as to whether or not this belief in intermediary, the belief in shidduch, is a prohibition to non-Jews. And it's something that goes back and forth a lot. And there's different contexts where it means different, it's understood in different ways, depending on the context, who the person is, and the context that this is happening. Commentary, even though it is unrighteous, meaning that the person is not one of the pious of the nations of the world. And that's the topic, part 1, chapter 1, topic 7, and footnote 14 there. That's on page 50 of the Divine Code. That's an earlier area that was being read. And topic in the section on idolatry, chapter 12, topic 10 below. And that's on page 254 and includes footnote 372. And that's a reference to causing a person to swear by an intermediary. If a person's doing a business deal and he wants the person to swear something concerning the business deal, the person who's swearing, if he serves idols, it's forbidden to make the person swear by the name of his idol. But what if the person believes in an intermediary? Is it okay to have the person swear using the name of God, or to swear to God? And the person in his mind is also trusting the intermediary. Is it okay to? And that's what chapter 12, topic 10 goes into. So these are other areas of the book where it discusses this question. This opinion is held by Tosafot and others, as explained in footnote 9, and that's a long footnote that we'll be looking at. We should be looking at tomorrow. This opinion is accepted as the majority opinion, and therefore it is a practical ruling. See topic 12.9 below. So we'll go into footnote 9 tomorrow that goes into the Tosafot's understanding and other topic, other related rabbinic understandings. Thank you.